From Indiana's business news leader, this is IBJ Media's Inside Indiana Business with Gary Dick, presented by Elevate Ventures, Indiana University, and Liuna.
Indy diving into the record books as Lucas Oil Stadium transforms from an NFL stadium into a world-class pool for future Olympians. Plus,
it's definitely the most famous hydrant in the state right now.
Pumping 2 million gallons of water into Lucas Oil to fill a pool. We show you how and where it all came from. And a bit of Paris in Indy. How a group of women welders is building a replica of the iconic Eiffel Tower for the Circle City. Inside Indiana Business is next.
Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick, coming to you this week from Lucas Oil Stadium in downtown Indianapolis, where for the first time in history, an NFL stadium has been transformed into a world-class swimming venue. 2.5 Olympic-sized swimming pools built on the floor of Lucas Oil. More than 1,000 athletes from around the country are converging on Indy to compete for just 52 spots on Team USA. They'll compete this summer at the Paris Olympics. In a city known for crowning champions, this is a marquee event that will once again shine a global spotlight on the city. And I'm pleased now to be joined by the CEO of USA Swimming, Tim Hinchey. Tim, welcome to Indianapolis.
Oh, it's great to be here.
You know, as you look at this venue, you and USA Swimming obviously have experienced a lot of different venues in a lot of different places. Your reaction?
Overwhelmed, almost. I think we were just talking about, you get these artist renditions, and you talk about what something's going to look like, and then when you walk in, it's even greater and better. Is really special. I have goosebumps every time I walk in.
As you look at this whole idea of transforming an NFL stadium into a swim venue, was it a risk in a sense, you're making a bet on Indianapolis and if folks here making this happen?
No, that's a great question. It is a risk, so hopefully I'll be a hero, not a zero on that one. But it is a risk, but it's a chance for us to really amplify our sport and to grow the sport of swimming. And again, we pride ourselves as being one of the most exciting sports in the Olympic movement. We have tremendous athletes that participate, that win medals. We win some of the most medals at every Olympic Games, but we only get the attention normally kind of 9 days a year, twice every 4 years. So this is a chance for us to welcome a larger community. It's a swimming market. It has the history of 100 years since 1924. But it's a chance for us to ask the sports fans and the community of Indianapolis to come and support a bigger event, and that's a big part of why we're here.
And as you look at the exposure for not only USA Swimming and the athletes, but for Indianapolis, a lot of people are amazed, 9 nights of primetime network television coverage.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't think of many trials that get that, and we get the ratings, right? We have the people that tune in, which is equally important to that. I think, again, Indianapolis has proven to be the center of the sports world, in my opinion. Yeah, I got to attend the All-Star game this year here in the same venue. Got to be at Indy 500 a couple weeks ago. Obviously, the Colts, the Pacers, and the Fevers. It's just amazing. And so credit to Indiana Sports Corp, credit to the CVB, Leonard Hoops and his group, everyone that cares about bringing great events, world-class events to Indianapolis. This is another chance for us to execute that.
What will fans see? What will they experience, in your view, in addition to this wild venue here, but just from a competitive standpoint?
Well, the athletes will tell you this is the fastest, most pressure-packed meet in the world, more so than the Olympics. 2 people per event make it, that's it. There's no captain's choice. If someone's not feeling well that day and they didn't finish it, they don't make it. So most of our athletes really talk about how important trials is to prepare them for their success at the Olympics, and they're almost relieved by the time they get to the Olympics. So this is the most pressure-packed meet in the entire world, and I think Indianapolis, in this venue, in this stadium, we're making world history.
Hey, final question. I just thought of, was there something that tipped the scales to Indianapolis from a competitive standpoint? Was it this opportunity to maybe expand the profile of the sport in this kind of venue?
Without question. I also want to give credit to Scott Davidson of OneAmerica, who's an incredible CEO here. It's an amazing company based here in Indianapolis, but part of his vision as a former swimmer as well is we can do more. They saved the NAT, they put the money into the NAT, this community did, to make sure that we go there every year anyways for our other major events. For them to take it to the next level, he shares this vision with me, and I'm grateful for that.
Tim Hinchey, the CEO of USA Swimming, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
The Olympics are, of course, in Paris this year, and a giant replica of one of the most iconic landmarks in the world will soon be unveiled not far from here in the heart of downtown Indy. Details on a 66-foot-tall Eiffel Tower and the group putting it together.
We build Indiana. The Laborers International Union of North America are men and women building roads and bridges to get Hoosiers where they're going today and a new energy infrastructure that will keep Indiana competitive tomorrow. LIUNA's over 12,000 statewide members also grow local economies, earning good union wages, shopping where they live and work, and paying taxes. We build Indiana for good jobs and stronger communities. The Laborers International Union of North America. We are LIUNA.
Welcome back to Lucas Oil Stadium, the site of the 2024 U.S. Olympic Team swim trials. Well, if you can't make it to Paris this summer for the Olympics, fear not. A special group of welders bringing a piece of Paris to Indianapolis. Inside Indiana business reporter Mary Rachel Redmond is standing by with more.
Well, who needs Paris when you can see the Eiffel Tower in downtown Indy, at least for 9 nights, that is, right here on Georgia Street. And while it may not be as tall or as wide as the original Eiffel Tower in Paris, the work behind the replica has been quite the undertaking.
As of right now, we're a little under 1,000 hours on the project.
With presumably several hundred left to go in order to finish the 66-foot tower that will weigh close to 24,000 pounds. The Latinas Welding Guild is the local group that's been tasked with building the replica.
We have over 600 parts that are going on onto this thing. All the metals being sourced from Indiana. And then being processed by a local fab shop, and then we're welding everything together. So it's definitely been a fun learning experience and a good challenge, I think. None of the welders that we've contracted or have on our team have ever worked on anything close to this.
And it's a team effort. Indianapolis-based F.A. Wilhelm Construction also helping to construct the tower.
From the beginning, it's the design of it, right? And how this thing's going to actually go together. So from the modeling phase, is aesthetically what it looks like, and to actually getting a structural engineer to design it. It's figuring out how we're going to where we're going to put it, how we're going to do it, put it on Georgia Street, right? Because this thing will come in 7 or 8 pieces from bottom to top, with foundations poured right out on Georgia Street, right by St. John's Church.
I think all of us secretly and really want people to be like, oh my God, I can't believe the Latinas Welding Guild built that. Or, oh my God, I can't believe like a welding team of like so many women. I think that's what we all really want, is just like blow people's minds about, who were the people behind the welding mask. Because I think most people, when they think of welders, they think about like these big, burly, bearded men. And all of us are all under the age of 40. And, we're all super proud to be working on this project. Like, I mean, it is truly like such a unique opportunity.
And when Indy's Eiffel Tower goes up, it will undoubtedly be the hot spot for that perfect Instagrammable moment. #Indy. You love to see it. Gary, back to you.
All right, Mary Rachel, thank you. Well, certainly an event like the U.S. Olympic swim trials would not happen without a tremendous volunteer effort. And Indianapolis, without question, has a well-earned reputation as a volunteer city. I asked OneAmerica's Lisa Hawkins about the volunteer effort to put on this event.
The support of the community has been amazing. That's part of our success, I think, as a city, is that we can activate volunteers. So we have probably over 7,000 slots for volunteers that are going to need to pull this event together, and they are showing up in big numbers. And so we're pretty grateful for that. We couldn't pull off this type of event without the volunteers that step up. We're circling around and putting our arms around the community because we not only want to just promote the sport, but we also want to promote the swim safety. And we've been talking a lot about what that means in the community, and we know there's some statistics that aren't so great in terms of underserved communities and their ability and access to pools and ability to learn how to swim and be swim safe.
Getting millions of gallons of water in pristine condition for Olympic hopefuls is no small feat. We'll tell you about it in the Business of Health.
Finding the right healthcare partner for your business isn't easy, but Hancock Wellbeing at Work can help. We're a different kind of program that combines employer clinics with a wellness strategy. And in a lot of cases, we can deliver greater health benefits at a lower cost. See why well-being for your employees is well-being for your business at HancockWellbeingAtWork.org.
Welcome back to Lucas Oil Stadium. Well, 2 years ago, organizers reached out to ask the biggest question of all surrounding the U.S. Olympic swim trials here in Indianapolis. Could the city provide enough water to host the trials? The answer was yes. Business of Health reporter Kylie Valletta shows us how it's done.
Thanks, Gary. Believe it or not, all of the water to fill 2.5 Olympic pools comes from this humble hydrant right outside Lucas Oil Stadium. Then 2 Indiana companies take over to make sure it's ready for showtime.
It's definitely the most famous hydrant in the state right now, but it's a typical fire hydrant.
The pristine water now setting the stage for the most prestigious swimming event in the U.S. came from the White River. From there, it followed the same path as Indianapolis drinking water, powered by Hoosier Utility Citizens Energy Group. A water treatment facility filtered and treated the water and ultimately pumped it into the distribution system that supplies the hydrant just outside the walls of Lucas Oil. Citizens has done other big projects.
Not to this magnitude. This is unique, obviously. We hooked up some hoses to the hydrant, turned the hydrant on and connected to Spear Corporation's piping that ran all the way into the Lucas Oil. We didn't have to do a thing to the system, amazingly.
Once all 2 million gallons of water were pumped into Lucas Oil, Spear Corporation took over, a family-owned operation in Putnam County.
The swimmers will actually start on this end.
About 10 semi-loads delivered Spear's massive piping and filtration system, designed to pump the water to perfection.
And we're flowing about 3,000 gallons a minute for each pool through the system, and it's UV treated as well, so it goes through UV treatment before it goes back to the pool, and we chemically treat it.
On that race, she was out in a 00.37.
And water clarity is key, not just for the swimmers, but also for cameras getting underwater primetime TV shots.
The chemistry, water chemistry, it has to be balanced almost perfectly. And then the temperature is a big deal too, so the temperature has to be perfect. We have it set at around 79.5 degrees.
Really? That's colder than I would expect.
Yes. They like to swim in a little bit cooler water.
Fans will never see the web of equipment under the pool to keep the flow and chemistry to Olympic standards. A water wizard of sorts, Brian Spear is no stranger to U.S. Olympic swimming trials. His Hoosier company led the charge for 3 straight Olympic trials in Omaha.
And being in Indiana this time, since we're a local company, it's kind of a homecoming for us too. We've always been in Omaha for the trials itself, and it's cool to be involved with it there, but it's a little extra special being here in Indianapolis.
A sense of pride at Citizens, too, helping set the nation's biggest stage in swimming.
It's glorified. I mean, it's a cool event. Even our frontline guys that were down here helping with the planning stages, they all think it's pretty neat stuff too. So yeah, we're just gracious that we're able to be part of it.
And when the trials are over, Citizens will be back in charge again. They'll use hoses to drain the pool water, direct it into the storm drains, and it will be back in Indiana's wastewater. Gary, back to you.
Wow. Thank you, Kylie, for that great behind-the-scenes look at how this event is coming together.
Time now for our Eye on Education, brought to you by PNC Bank.
So our Eye on Education report this week, Team USA partnering with Purdue Global to give tuition-free education to current and former athletes. Purdue Global says nearly half of these athletes have a full or part-time job in addition to training, which makes a flexible online education better for their schedules. Around 12,000 athletes are eligible. Dealing with the housing shortage, Purdue University Fort Wayne has announced plans for a nearly $100 million apartment complex on the university's North Campus. The project is part of a public-private partnership with construction and real estate development company Gilbane. Purdue Fort Wayne says student housing has been at full capacity for 6 consecutive fall semesters. competition for big events like this is as intense as ever. How did Indianapolis win this bid? I talked with Indiana Sports Corporation President Patrick Talty. That's next.
Here's what's making news around Indiana. Brought to you by the Indiana Association of Realtors. Indiana's 21,000 realtors. The neighbors you know, the experts you can count on.
More major data center investment tops our news around Indiana this week. Microsoft to invest $1 billion to build a data center in LaPorte on 500 acres in the Radius Industrial Park. That investment expected to create about 200 jobs. Also this week, news that Microsoft has purchased more than 900 acres of farmland in Granger in St. Joseph County for $77.5 million for another potential data center. In recent months, billions of dollars in data center investment have been announced by Google in Fort Wayne, Meta in Jeffersonville, and Amazon in New Carlisle. In Southeast Indiana, an out-of-this-world expansion. Florida-based Redwire Corporation has broken ground on a new microgravity payload development facility in Floyd County. It will add more lab space and a much larger mission control center where engineers can communicate directly with astronauts operating Redwire equipment aboard the International Space Station. Amazing technology where Redwire has used microgravity to successfully 3D bioprint human tissue and is now working with pharma companies like Lilly on ways to revive sidelined drug candidates.
We're developing new crystal structures, new formulations of these crystals in a microgravity environment. So if you have a drug that's been put on the sideline due to side effects and it can't be brought to market, we're providing new drug formulation composition of that crystal that can allow these pharmaceutical companies to have new ways to manufacture and new approaches to these drugs. They've been sidelined and not been able to bring to market and help, mankind here on Earth.
The expansion is expected to create about 25 jobs and be complete in the second half of next year. This time next year, Indiana Golf will have a new headquarters. The Indiana Golf Association breaking ground this week on headquarters space at Fort Harrison State Park in Indianapolis that will include the Indiana Golf Hall of Fame and a new indoor golf academy. It is expected to open next spring.
I think that it's important for the game of golf and the things that we do with the First Tee program to be centrally located not only within the state, but also here centrally located within Indianapolis.
And certainly the competition for major events like this continues to get tougher and tougher. Patrick Talty is the president of the Indiana Sports Corporation. And Patrick, thanks for joining me on a really special day. As you look around Lucas Oil Stadium, first time ever the swim trials have been held in an NFL stadium. Talk about the effort to put this together.
It was a lot in the making. This bid was actually done during the pandemic. So in June and July of 2020, we were in our offices, masked up, 6 feet apart, actually putting this together. So you think about what the world was back in 2020, and we were thinking about this day today, what it was going to be like when we actually unveiled these pools. But we had to think, how do we put the full package together? What is sporting events going to look like, and what can we do unique for the swimming trials? And we felt like we could take it to the next level. We could set a new bar for what the Olympic swimming trials could be in other cities.
This was certainly a competitive bid. Talk about the 4 cities involved and why you took this big swing with an NFL venue.
Yeah, it was a lot of competition. I mean, Omaha, who had been hosting this event since 2004, done a great job, unbelievable hosts. Minneapolis, St. Louis, and us were all bidding on this, and we were all finalists. And we worked hard, and we thought that we had the great package of putting this together, and it meant a lot to our city to be the first. We love being the first and doing things differently and uniquely, and so we put a big priority on that. So we had to work really hard to think about what can we do to raise the bar, and how can we show swimming that it belongs here more so than those other cities. And we were thinking, how do we put it in the biggest venue with the most accessibility for the fans to be able to attend and get to experience it? Because in Omaha, unfortunately, the seating kind of limited how many people could come, and they were selling out very quickly. So we thought NFL Stadium is the best place for that.
As you look ahead, any chance this could be the first of maybe several? 2028 is the next U.S. Olympic team trials. LA Olympics in 28, opportunity for Indianapolis?
100%. I mean, we are watching that. We want to be a part of the Olympic movement going into LA 28. We think that Indy, it would make all the sense in the world for us to be a part of that movement. So we are definitely thinking ahead and thinking about how well we've done here. We should absolutely do it. Now, I think the one thing I would say is we need people to come out. We need people to experience this, and we need people to show swimming that Central Indiana cares about the Olympic movement, and filling this venue would go a long way with that.
Indianapolis is a big event city, whether it's this event, Super Bowls, Final Fours, Indy 500, we host each and every year. The competition for these events, though, is tougher than ever. What's key to Indianapolis being successful, whether it's for swim trials or another big event?
Yeah, for us and our value prop that we have always talked about to our rights holders when we're bidding on these events is really three things that we think we uniquely bring to the table that other cities cannot. One is our walkable, connected campus in downtown. You can't copy that, you can't change that once you've set that up, and we've done a really good job of doing that over the years. The second piece is the Hoosier hospitality. It is real, it is something that we talk about. People here in Indy, they care about these events, they want to put their best foot forward, and they want to show the world that we are a great place to live, work, and play and visit. And then third, our ability to come together to accomplish great things is like no other city. I've lived in other cities, I've hosted events in other cities, and our ability to come together, no matter what walk of life, no matter where we've come from, no matter what side of the aisle we're on, we come together and we accomplish those great things in Indy.
Patrick Tulte, the president of the Indiana Sports Corporation.
Thanks
for joining me.
Yeah.
All right. And thank you for joining us on this special edition of Inside Indiana Business from Lucas Oil Stadium, the home of the U.S. Olympic team swim trials this year, a major event for the city. I'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us. Go out and make it a successful week.
Thank you for listening to the Inside Indiana Business Television podcast. Remember, you can get the latest business news from every corner of the state at InsideIndianaBusiness.com. I'm Gary Dick. Go out and make it a successful week.